Warning, this mother poured ice water on her daughter during period cramps, letting her freeze to death, but then see how the father turned her perfect life into a nightmare. Spoiler, she eventually committed suicide during a live stream. My wife made our daughter, who was on her period, shower in cold water. Our daughter's period cramps affected her dance competition, so my wife publicly poured ice water on her and pushed her out the door, while our daughter knelt on the ground, begging my wife to open the door. My wife was at her old flame's house, comforting his son who had lost his competition in the dead of winter. My daughter, wearing her soaked dance costume, froze to death outside our front door. After learning of my daughter's death, I frantically called my wife. She answered impatiently, "Which woman doesn't get her period? She won't die." My wife, a dance teacher, took our daughter to a dance competition. I was on a business trip, looking at the picture of my daughter, graceful as a white swan, on my phone's lock screen. I smiled and called my wife. "How did Luna perform today? Do you have any photos of her I can see?" My wife answered the phone, her voice filled with anger. How else could she perform? Getting her period was like the end of the world for her. When you get back, take a good look at how you raised such a selfish person. She not only messed up her own performance but also her partner's. My ears buzzed from her ranting. In the distance, I heard my daughter's tearful voice. "Dad, my stomach hurts so much." My wife instantly let out a sudden shriek. "You scream again. It's just your period, isn't it? Who are you putting on this pathetic act for? To make your dad feel a pang of heartache for you? Do you have any idea how much trouble your mistake caused? You've not only ruined your own future, but also all of Brandon's efforts." I frowned deeply, listening to my wife endlessly scold Luna. Feeling nothing but immense a pang of heartache, Luna had been clutching her stomach and lying on the table this morning. I told her to rest more, but Vivian, my wife, angrily reprimanded me for it, rubbing my temples. I forced my tone to be gentle. "Honey, calm down. Luna's stomachache affected her performance. She must be feeling terrible herself. Don't talk to her like that." Vivian immediately started yelling at me. "You'll never respect my work. You and your daughter just know how to ruin everything I've worked so hard for. This dance class isn't just for your daughter. There are many high school students here pursuing art school admissions. I might not earn as much as you, but I have my own career. And you too, you just look down on what I do. Am I the teacher, or are you? With your foolishness. If our daughter only followed you, she would never make it into art school." The phone was hung up. Though it was just a conflict between mother and daughter, it made me so uneasy I couldn't calm down. I hastily finished my business trip and rushed back overnight. But what I never expected was to receive the news of my daughter's death while on the highway. A neighbor sent me photos. Police officers surrounded my beautiful white swan. My daughter lay on the ground, soaking wet in her ballet costume, a large pool of blood beneath her. Her face utterly lifeless. My heart instantly clenched. My nails dug hard into the steering wheel. My daughter, who had sweetly said goodbye to me just yesterday morning, was now separated by death. Overwhelming rage made me floor the gas pedal. The car sped so fast it felt like it would fly. The entire way, I had a metallic taste in my throat. I called Vivian countless times. Just before my patience ran out, she finally picked up. I spoke rapidly, telling her Luna had an accident and she needed to drop everything and come quickly. She immediately snapped back with sharp words. "Are you sick or something? Luna's old enough now. Do I still need to breastfeed her? Can't I have my own life? I'm very busy right now. I need to help Brandon find a new dance partner. Let your daughter throw a fit. Who can stand her?" My eyes instantly bulged with fury. I grew more suspicious that Luna's death was somehow connected to her. Brandon was her old flame's son, with terrible grades. He only came to Vivian for tutoring help right before the college entrance exam, hoping to get in through a special path. I could barely contain my rage, controlling my trembling voice as I questioned her. She, however, calmly responded, "Don Giles. My concern for Brandon has nothing to do with Sterling. Brandon has no dance foundation, so of course, he needs more attention if he's starting from scratch. Besides, Sterling and I are just ordinary friends now. Don't be so narrow-minded." I cut her off, thinking of Luna's lifeless photo. My heart felt soaked in acid. "Vivian, I'm talking about Luna right now. Luna had an accident. You only know how to yell at me." She blocked me with even stronger words. "Do I not know what kind of person my daughter is? She just knows how to play the victim with you, to compete for your affection, and to make you scold me. You fell for it. She's such a manipulative person, always scheming instead of studying, even scheming against me. If she loves trouble so much, she should just die outside. She really thinks she's important." I hung up the phone. On the deserted highway, I opened the car window and sobbed uncontrollably. How could a mother be so cold-hearted? Luna's studies had always been managed solely by her mother, while I focused entirely on my work and rarely paid her much attention. Recalling yesterday morning, I wished I could slap myself several times. If only I had insisted a bit more, delayed going to work, and accompanied Luna to the competition. She wouldn't have frozen to death outside. What awaited me was my daughter in the morgue, trembling. I pulled back the morning drapes. Luna's body was stiff, but she had a pained smile on her face. My scalp instantly prickled. I dropped to my knees, trembling as I clutched Luna's cold hand. A nurse came to help me up. People who die from hypothermia sometimes have a pained smile. Extreme suffering can cause hallucinations. Perhaps she saw someone she wanted to see before she died. I'm so sorry for your loss. After speeding down the highway, I finally collapsed in exhaustion at that moment. I pressed Luna's hand to my face, then to my chest, but I couldn't warm it. Tears fell one by one onto the floor. I held Luna's small body. I'm sorry Dad failed you. Dad shouldn't have let Luna freeze, my darling. Please come back. I cried myself numb. Sitting on the floor, I called Vivian, asking her to come and take Luna home with me. Just spoil her. She's a spoiled brat. But aren't my other students darlings at home too? Her voice was full of impatience. She's so young and already trying to threaten me. I won't fall for her tricks. Tell her to come find me after she's willing to apologize to Brandon. I despairingly held Luna's cold hand. You'll never wait for Luna. She's already dead. Vivian actually laughed, then Sterling's smiling voice appeared beside her. Man, it's one thing for a girl to be unreasonable, but it's normal for her mom to discipline her. Why are you acting crazy too? Vivian's tone was always gentle in front of him. Sorry you had to see that. Luna was delicate when she was little, and even harder to manage now that she's grown up. That little girl is nowhere near as sensible as Brandon. I felt like I'd been struck by lightning. Discipline? What discipline? Luna died at our doorstep, dressed in thin clothes and soaking wet. Now it seemed like deliberate harm. I immediately got up, taking one last look at Luna. Dad didn't take care of you before. But now Dad won't let anyone who harmed my daughter get away with it. I rushed to Vivian's elite dance academy and retrieved the security camera footage from that day. In the afternoon, after the competition, Vivian brought the children back. Vivian was attending to him hand and foot. To a sulking Brandon, while Luna stood in a corner, clutching her stomach. Soon, the children were all picked up by their parents. Vivian returned from outside, carrying a bucket of ice water, and poured it directly over Luna's head. Luna instantly screamed, trembling and hugging herself. Crying out to Vivian, Mom, I really didn't mean to. I'm in so much pain. Brandon sat on the sofa, drinking hot tea and watching Luna. Hey, whether you meant to or not, I'm really unlucky to be your partner. Hearing this, Vivian rushed over, grabbed Luna's clothes, and began slapping her wildly. I covered my mouth, holding my breath, tears streaming down my face. Luna knelt on the ground, crying heartbrokenly, Mom, please don't hit me anymore. My stomach hurts so much. I feel like I'm dying, Mom. I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have performed poorly and affected my partner's score. Every extra word from Luna earned her another slap. Finally, Vivian grew tired of hitting her. She left with Brandon. Still hurting, huh? Do you think you're the only one who gets their period? I wasn't this dramatic when I gave birth to you. You feel like you're dying, huh? Don't come home unless you actually die. Luna, soaking wet, lay on the ground clutching her stomach, crying uncontrollably. Those slaps seemed to land one by one on my heart. Boundless pain and anger enveloped me. It almost burned away all my reason. In the past, I always thought Vivian was strict with our daughter's training because she was hoping she'd become successful. Now, I realized I was terribly wrong. Vivian hated Luna. Just because Luna affected Brandon's competition, she wanted to kill Luna. Vivian hadn't been home for 2 days, otherwise, she wouldn't have been unaware of our daughter's death. She doted on Brandon, treating him far better than her own daughter. She explained to me that in college, Sterling saved up to buy her designer bags. Later, she felt very guilty for leaving him to be with me and now just wanted to be ordinary friends and compensate Brandon more. I once offered to repay the money he spent on Vivian back then. In full, Vivian, however, reprimanded me. She said not to insult others with my filthy money, that it was a friendship from their student days, and not everything could be bought with money. I reluctantly gave up, while she often stayed up all night caring for Brandon, completely devoted to Sterling and his son. Looking at Luna lying on the ground in the security camera footage, I called Vivian. Haha, she had already blacklisted me. I immediately called Sterling. He picked up quickly. His voice was full of triumph. Man, Vivian threw a lavish meal for us at the Grandview Hotel to comfort my son. If you haven't had lunch yet, come on over. I forced myself to control my trembling voice. Which private dining room? 402, of course. Girls like Luna are really hard to teach, aren't they? You must be exhausted. Come over and eat first. I'll share some parenting tips with you. Brandon's angry shout came from the background. I don't want to eat with that retard. Auntie is making it up to me. Don't let that idiot ruin my appetite. Is that your well-behaved child? I clenched my phone tightly and yelled, "Let Vivian answer the phone." Are you crazy? Why are you here? Shouldn't you be holding your good daughter right now? Get out. Go as far away as you can. You and your daughter are just alike. I don't know why I ever fell for you, raising such a disgusting daughter. Vivian snatched the phone, her voice annoyed. I hung up the phone, went to the Grandview Hotel, and kicked open the door to private dining room 402. Why are you here again? Don't you know Brandon will lose his appetite seeing you? She hadn't finished her sentence because I grabbed her hair and dragged her into the restroom. Brandon watched Vivian being pulled in by me. He continued playing on his phone, unmoved. A waiter nearby saw something was wrong and rushed to stop me, but I quickly locked the door. Sterling frantically knocked on the door outside, while Vivian showed no fear of me. What? Do you really want to teach me a lesson? Aside from anything else, your daughter's manipulative nature is really something. I punched her in the abdomen. She immediately clutched her stomach and fell to her knees. I turned on the faucet, grabbed her hair, and pressed her head under it. Vivian struggled in my hands like a fish out of water. She screamed in pain, "Help! Sterling, call the police! He's hitting me! Come save me!" I looked at her coldly. Yesterday at this time, Luna was being disciplined by you like this. She was already having period cramps. And you still poured cold water on her and slapped her. What? I'm just giving it back to you exactly as you did. Are you really that delicate? Can't you take it? I pulled her hair and pushed open the toilet stall door. She asked in a panic what I intended to do. I said, "I want you to die." I pressed her face into the toilet, the feces that hadn't been flushed smeared on her face. She started vomiting violently, crying and begging me to spare her. I pried open her mouth and pressed the flush button. Finally, she had no strength left to cry. She lay on the floor like a dead fish, her face filthy, indistinguishable whether it was water or tears. I grabbed her collar and yelled, "Luna knelt on the ground begging you, but you didn't stop. You let her freeze to death at the front door. Why should I be merciful to you?" She stared at me blankly, seemingly confused. "Luna dead?" She immediately jumped up, tugging at my clothes, looking at me suspiciously. "This is one of your tricks, isn't it?" I coldly shook off her hand, opened the restroom door, and walked out. Sterling came over to embrace Vivian, but she pushed him away. Vivian followed me silently, got into my car, and mumbled to herself while looking out the window, "Little brat, now she's even pretending to be dead to threaten her mom." I scoffed. I no longer wanted to deal with her. I just wanted to go home and see my daughter off one last time. I contacted Margaret and William, my parents. They had already brought Luna home. And the wake, Vivian's suspicion turned into disbelief. She pointed at the mourning drapes covering the funeral hall and Luna's black and white memorial photo, looking at me blankly. "Husband, what is this?" I laughed derisively. "What, you don't even recognize Luna's memorial photo?" I grabbed her collar, pushed her next to Luna, and yelled, tugging her ear, "Our daughter was killed by you. You poured cold water on her, slapped her, and let her freeze to death right at our doorstep." Margaret cried even louder at my words. Everyone paying respects looked at Vivian with strange eyes. Patricia, my mother-in-law, also arrived. But seeing me holding Vivian, she pushed me away and embraced Vivian. "What are you doing? Are you abusing your wife? A man who hits his wife is a complete failure." I laughed. When we got married, the Chen family valued my budding company, but they took all my kindness for granted. Vivian stared blankly at the lifeless Luna, then pushed Patricia away. She trembled as she placed her hand on Luna's face, then let out a sharp, mournful shriek. She suddenly embraced Luna and sobbed uncontrollably. How could this happen? My daughter is still so young. Are you playing a trick on Mom? Mom knows she was wrong. Please wake up. Wake up. Mom won't dislike your period cramps anymore. Don't sleep anymore. Mom will continue teaching you to dance. Get up. She cried, her body shaking, frantically shaking Luna. I pulled her away and slapped her hard. Get out. Don't defile Luna's path to the afterlife. She immediately fell to her knees before me, tugging at my pant leg. Tell me what happened. I'm her biological mother. Do you know how much pain I'm in? I've told you 3 times. This is the last. I looked at her coldly. Luna was killed by you. Frozen to death outside, she was kneeling at the front door, begging you to open it, while you were at Sterling's house taking care of Brandon. You said she was manipulative, faking it, lying, delicate. My voice also trembled, looking at Luna's small face beside me. A farce that severed the father-daughter bond. It happened so fast. I was already separated by death from my daughter. Vivian released my pant leg. The color drained from her face, but her eyes were swollen red. A string of clear tears flowed from the corners of her eyes. She stared intently at Luna, then looked up at Patricia and asked, "Mom, did I kill my daughter with my own hands?" Vivian collapsed to the ground, clutching her chest, screaming in agony, her body shaking uncontrollably. Patricia's face was filled with sorrow. She tried to help Vivian up, But Vivian was too frightened. She scrambled on her hands and knees to Luna's side, bowing repeatedly to Luna. "Mom, I'm so sorry." I looked at her and felt annoyed. I yanked her up. "Stop pretending. You never loved Luna. What kind of mother would treat her own daughter like this?" Vivian shook her head frantically, looking at me with sorrow. "It's not like that. I just wanted to punish her. This is the child I carried her for 9 months." She hadn't finished speaking when her phone suddenly rang. She quickly answered. On the other end was Sterling's anxious voice. "Vivian, my son drank a few too many bottles of wine at the restaurant and is feeling very sick now. He's desperate to see you." Vivian immediately stopped crying and agreed repeatedly. "Okay, give him some hot tea. I'll be right there." She stood up, grabbed her bag, and walked out. Not looking at Luna again, I snatched her phone and smashed it hard on the ground. She turned back, looking at me in a panic, then in a fit of rage, pushed me away. "What are you doing?" I pointed at my daughter's memorial photo and said coldly to her, "Luna hasn't even had her funeral service, and you're going to abandon her again?" She quickly calmed down, showing no trace of her previous hysteria. "Our daughter has passed away. That's an irreversible fact. Shouldn't I be kinder to the living?" Margaret sobbed and grabbed her hand. "Vivian, stay and spend more time with Luna. Luna suffered so much. Please see her off one last time." Vivian coldly pulled her hand away, looking at me somewhat speechless. "You're not still jealous, are you? Is there no end to this? I'm genuinely just taking care of Brandon. I treat Brandon like my own son. Do you know that? Someone like you, with a mind full of perverse thoughts, would never understand." Watching her turn around, determined to step out of the house, I scoffed. "Your and Sterling's biological son is still alive, but our biological daughter is gone. Let's just get a divorce. I will never stop you from taking care of Brandon again." She rolled her eyes at me, unreasonable. Vivian turned and left. I no longer tried to stop her. This kind of person doesn't deserve to be a mother. Nor does she deserve to send Luna off. I asked David to find me a group of thugs every day. They would stand outside the Elite Dance Academy with microphones, holding Luna's memorial photo, repeating over and over again, "Teacher Vivian physically abused students, poured cold water on a girl having period cramps, and slapped her wildly." The Elite Dance Academy tried to drive them away several times but found they couldn't. The next day, Vivian was fired. As soon as I received the news, I immediately went live in the live stream. I wore somber attire, crying uncontrollably, playing the security camera footage video and everything David filmed in the funeral hall that day, over and over again. All the aunts and uncles watching my live stream were shaken. The hashtag Dansecker Swen Squandwailed one even topped the homepages of many browsers. Even more, netizens doxed Vivian, revealing her detailed identity information. She was virtually blacklisted by the dance industry. No parent would dare entrust their child to her again. Extreme netizens posted screenshots of private messages insulting her across various platforms, watching her become speechless in the face of strangers' questions. I found it amusing. I drove past the Elite Dance Academy. Vivian suddenly rushed out and blocked my car. "Do you have to force me to my death? I couldn't help it that my daughter died, and I've already apologized." She slammed her hands on the car hood, yelling at me, "10 years of marriage. Do you have to destroy me? I can never be a dance teacher again." I smiled and pressed the gas pedal. "Luna won't come back to life. 10 years of marriage should have ended long ago." She was so scared she immediately dodged. She couldn't even handle this, and yet she called Luna delicate. I never expected that when I got home from work and opened a short video platform, I would see a Vivian I didn't recognize at all. She opened a live stream, crying. The cover of the stream was the same photo my neighbor had sent me, with tears streaming down her face. She explained that after the competition that night, Luna left the dance studio in her ballet costume and didn't come home all night. She implied that Luna secretly met her boyfriend in the middle of the night, was dumped by him, and accidentally had a miscarriage, which was why she was lying on the ground covered in blood. She completely cleared herself of blame. She even spread vile rumors that I had an affair, and that's why I turned the tables on her, blaming our daughter's death entirely on her. Later, Brandon appeared on camera, affectionately hugging Vivian. "Teacher Vivian is a very good teacher. Just like my mom. Please believe her. Luna has always been ill-behaved." Everyone disliked her. Many of her students came forward to testify for her. Indeed, to other children, she was a gentle teacher, but she wished death upon her own daughter. The online opinion quickly shifted towards me, spreading rumors that I was a creature ruled by my lower half, thinking about a mistress right after my daughter's death. Countless people defaced Luna's memorial photo. Worthless slut, she deserved what she got. Princess, sleeping around. I looked at the screen full of vulgar insults in her live stream, my nails digging into my palms. I punched the wedding photo hanging on the wall. Glass shards pricked my skin, but I didn't feel enough pain. How could there be such a mother in this world? spreading vile rumors about her daughter even after she died. I published the call recordings with Vivian and Luna's autopsy report online. A blood test would easily differentiate between menstrual blood and miscarriage. Now, netizens clearly understood who the most disgusting parent was. This time, Vivian was completely exposed. Even Patricia came to beg me for mercy. Extreme netizens found her hometown and went around with loudspeakers repeating Vivian's crimes. I sent Vivian a text message. Are you willing to get a divorce now? Let's meet. You don't have to force her like this. She genuinely loved me. I chuckled. Sterling still thought his methods were so clever. I brought a few of my brothers and went to the outskirts where Sterling arranged to meet. He sat on the car hood, smoking a cigarette, looking at me triumphantly. Mr. Marcus, you certainly have courage. Walking into the lion's den alone, I really have to thank you. By forcing Vivian into such a desperate situation, she's finally willing to divorce you. Let me tell you, she was always my woman. That first taste in college was really good. He hadn't finished speaking when my brothers pinned him to the ground. He pounded his fists on the ground, glaring at me fiercely. His throat choked, unable to utter a single word. I laughed at his pathetic state. I removed the cigarette from my mouth, picked up a hammer, and swung it at his knee. He instantly clutched his knee, screaming in pain. His face flushed, sweat pouring from his forehead. I squatted down and pressed on his bloody knee. You'll just have to take this loss, because I've recently uncovered quite a few things on you. What are you doing? Stop it! Vivian rushed over. She pushed me away with all her strength, looking at me with disgust. I never thought you'd be such a terrible person now. Sterling, enduring the pain, clutched Vivian's leg. No, Vivian, you don't have to divorce Mr. Marcus for me. He still loves you very much. Vivian cried and knelt down, embracing Sterling. You fool, I actually love you the most. I'll divorce him right away. I applauded repeatedly. Bless this new couple. I saw Vivian again on the 7th day after Luna's death. I refused my parents' suggestion to hold any more ceremonies. Luna gradually became an unresolved pain I didn't want to mention, yet the longing for my daughter was everywhere. Vivian opened the door and came in. She glanced at me, then began moving things in and out without a word. Being with her now made me recall the scene where she poured cold water on Luna. I stubbed out my cigarette, annoyed, and turned on the TV. Suddenly, Luna appeared on the TV, vibrant, like a white swan. Vivian also stopped, stunned. Luna shyly faced the camera. Mom, happy birthday. The birthday gift I prepared for you this year is a dance I've been learning for 2 weeks. The graceful white swan slowly spread her arms, lightly bounced, and smiled sweetly. After the dance, the little girl skipped to the camera, smiling a bit unconfidently. Mom, was my dance good enough? Mom, art school auditions are coming up next year, and I want to get into your university and become the most outstanding young dancer, just like you. Even though I often don't do very well, I have Mom. Mom is the best teacher. Hee. Mom, I love you. Don't let Dad see this video. He'll get jealous. I'm a mama's girl. The video, less than 15 minutes long, ended. The black screen finally pulled me back to reality. My vibrant white swan was gone forever. After watching the video, Vivian's tears fell in large drops onto the floor. She covered her mouth, sitting on the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. Perhaps only now did she truly feel that the daughter who loved her so much was truly gone. She lunged to grab the remote control from my hand. Let me see it again. Let me see my daughter again. I beg you. Just let me see her one more time. Mom knows she was wrong. Luna was excellent. Luna was my best student since she was little. It was Mom's fault. Mom wasn't patient. Mom was possessed and so violent to Luna. Marcus, I beg you. I'm her biological mother. Let me see her. My eyes red-rimmed. I raised the remote control and slammed it hard onto the floor. You're not just her mom. You're also a murderer. I dragged her by her clothes, along with all her belongings, and threw them out the door. She kept banging on the door. Marcus, I beg you, just let me see Luna one last time. I'm bowing repeatedly to you. I'm sorry, truly sorry. I collapsed in tears on the other side of the door. Would Luna come back if I said I'm sorry a million times? A few months later, I heard from friends in my hometown that Vivian was planning to marry Sterling by the end of the year. A biological mother is nothing more than this, remarrying less than half a year after her daughter's death. I posted the news of Vivian remarrying online. My brothers fanned the flames online, exposing all of Sterling's information. I learned all of this from a private investigator. It dug up everything about him. He had no privacy from me. Under my influence, netizens' anger grew fiercer, and even Brandon's identity was exposed. Some netizens sent funeral wreaths to Sterling's office's school. According to Luna's classmates, Brandon was bullying at school, and teachers barely dared to speak to him. He was practically on the verge of dropping out. Work, everyone knew he was a homewrecker who destroyed other people's families. Sterling's current position at the office's connections, so he absolutely wouldn't give it up easily. Vivian called me multiple times, using both pleas and threats, saying she could give up her job and not remarry Sterling. as long as I would leave Sterling alone. She was kind-hearted, but who would leave my daughter alone? I hung up the phone, just as Luna had an accident that night. I begged her on the highway to go look for Luna. The private investigator told me that Sterling had been fined and suspended at home for bringing negative publicity to the company. Netizens online celebrated. Indeed, there's nothing happier than seeing bad people get their comeuppance. Vivian rushed to my house. She didn't know the password anymore, so she just knelt at the door. Perhaps it was karma. The night Luna had an accident, she also knelt at this door, begging me to open it. I lay on the sofa, bored, and opened my phone. I found that Sterling, under intense public scrutiny, had started a live stream, his red-rimmed eyes making him look like a victim. Vivian and I are just college classmates. I never expected that after I merely enrolled my son in her training class, she would start to relentlessly pursue me. Sterling held up a piece of paper. These are our call records from the past 6 months. Most of them are calls from her to me. She stayed at my house very late every night, using the excuse of taking care of my son. I found it very interesting and immediately sent the live stream link to Vivian. The camera turned to Brandon. His face was covered in tears. He pulled open the collar of his sweater, pointing at the scarlet marks on his skin. Teacher Vivian came every night and even made William leave. She ignored my resistance and pinned me to the bed. Teacher Vivian said that if I resisted her, she wouldn't let me participate in art school auditions anymore. Brandon sniffled into the camera. I testified for her before because she threatened me. I've been cyberbullied because of her. And I'm about to enter my senior year. Sterling held Brandon in his arms with a pang of heartache. The once lively live stream now had no comments. Everyone was shocked. It was a shocking twist. I opened the door. Vivian was holding her phone, frowning, seemingly in disbelief. I smiled and asked, I heard you two are getting married. Seems like your relationship isn't that good, huh? You seem unaware of this slander against you? I handed her a stack of papers, all from the private investigator's findings. I finally got to see her panicked face as I said, the designer bags he bought you in college were all fakes, not even good knockoffs. Sterling didn't just have one girlfriend back then, and of course, he's not just flirting with you now. The documents clearly detailed his hotel records with those women from over 10 years ago, and also his visits to clubs a few days ago, and the escorts he hired at what prices. Vivian looked at me in shock, then stumbled forward, struggling to say, all of this is true. I smiled and nodded, but among these women, you're the only one who killed your own daughter for him. She grabbed her hair several times, then quickly knelt and crawled over, tugging at my pant leg. Let me see Luna again, that dance video. I was silent for a moment. Luna trained with you since she was little. Did you never film her even once? Tears streamed down her face. She tightly hugged my leg. I know I was wrong. I never loved Luna, but she was the most understanding and sweet child in the world. She was my own flesh and blood, whom I carried for 9 months. Please let me see her again. I miss Luna so much. I want to hug her one more time. I threw the USB drive at her, then turned around and went back inside, closing the door. Outside the door, Vivian, clutching the USB drive tightly, collapsed to the ground, sobbing. Just when I thought things would settle down, I never imagined Vivian would go this insane. Vivian bought a lavish meal and went to Sterling's house to congratulate Sterling on getting his job back. She put sedatives in the food and drinks, and Sterling and his son soon fell unconscious. When things escalated, she started a live stream. With the camera pointed at Luna's grave, she held the knife to Brandon's neck and calmly said to the camera, Sterling, you have 2 choices. 1, I kill your son. 2, you commit suicide in front of my daughter's grave. That way, Luna will forgive me. By the time I arrived, there were already many people crowding around. Police officers were pushing back the onlookers, and a sniper in the distance had Vivian's head in their sights, ready to fire at any moment. Sterling held a small knife, trembling as he knelt before Vivian. I beg you, please let my son go. Vivian spoke coldly to Sterling. Block the sniper behind me with your body. I also have explosives on me, if anyone dares to shoot. No one will escape. Vivian turned to the phone camera, and a single tear suddenly streamed down her stern face. Luna, Mom needs to apologize to you today. My Luna was the most exceptional child. If she had another chance to participate in art school auditions, she would undoubtedly be the most brilliant white swan. My Luna was not a promiscuous girl. She didn't have a boyfriend, and it wasn't a miscarriage. The blood was menstrual blood, and the water on her body was what I poured on her. I personally killed my child. I am the most wicked mother. But my child was the best child. Without warning, she raised the knife and brought it down. The dagger plunged into Brandon's heart. But before the police could shoot, she pulled out the knife and plunged it into her own chest. Both of them spurted out a mouthful of blood at the same time, collapsed to the ground, and began to convulse. Sterling screamed and rushed to Brandon, and together with Brandon, they were quickly put into the ambulance. I pushed through the crowd and told the obstructing police officers that I was Vivian's ex-husband. I stood before Vivian, who was still spitting blood. She gave me a faint smile, with tears streaming from the corners of her eyes, and raised her hand towards me. I'm sorry. I'm going first. I'm going to apologize to Luna now. On her hand was our wedding ring. The dazzling diamond lost its sparkle with her last breath. I lowered my head, tears hitting the ground, and murmured to myself, in your next life, you still wouldn't be worthy of being her mother. Her hand finally relaxed and opened, revealing the USB drive I had given her. In fact, the USB drive was empty. There was nothing on it. Shortly after Vivian's death, Brandon also died in the hospital. Sterling was left with a crippled leg, becoming a lone wolf just like me.